This is the rhythm of change. This is the sound of redemption. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. Igniting the fire within you. Exalting the melody of freedom. These are the things that will bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Down, down, down.
Let me tell you, it's in the air. Joy is in the air. Love is in the air. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Don't sleep on it, brother. You might get left, sister. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Justice. No need to be counted, cause I am down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down for the end of racism, for the end of bigotry, cause I am down. For the end of misogyny, that's right. For all the isms out there, just down, down, down. Let's bring it down. Rise up, people. No more foolishness, and let's bring it way down.
Riding the river of change into the cries of contrition. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. We are the children of Eden, dancing and celebrating freedom. We are the ones that must bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. We've got to bring it down. Down. Stand up and shout. Stand up and shout. Rise together.
Accountability starts now. The Eric Dawson Radio Show.
Yeah. Rise up. Stand up, shouting loud.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode. So I'm going to ask you move to your left though, Deirdre, just a tiny bit so that you're center screen. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Eric Dawson Show. Hey guys, check it out. Not only is it Deirdre Viney Day, you see Deirdre Viney. Right? So we got an added bonus today. So you all should count your blessings. Starting with the fact that you woke up this morning. Right? And we're going to drop a lot of jewels. I'm not even going to belabor it. We're just going to get right into it. Well, first I want to welcome Vincent to the show. All right, you guys say hi to Vincent, even though he's not on the screen. We're gonna get him back on the screen too at some point.
Well, I don't get on the screen because I don't want to scare your viewers.
Is that it?
Yeah, I just got the perfect face for radio only.
I hear you. So listen, well, before we jump into all things jobs and job related. Want to wish Deirdre Viney a happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I had a great. I've been Vincent. You spent money. You on my Facebook feed. You said, how many birthdays do you have?
Hey Deirdre, I want to say to you, any gift that because I saw you got a lot of gifts.
I did.
And I can.
They had a theme though. They had a wine theme. My friends clearly know me well.
So I want to say any gift you don't want, I'm willing to rent a U-Haul truck.
What? No, see, they gave me things that I could consume, so less waste.
I got it.
And wine does not last too long in my household, so nothing to share.
Now red wine, white wine.
One of my girlfriends, I want to give a shout out to my friend Sanika. She owns Lavish Lifestyles, concierge. If you ever need to travel to the Caribbean, she is your woman.
Oh, you know what?
My husband and I we were trying to go to St. Lucia, and she was just so fantastic. Anyway, she drove like an hour to one of my favorite vineyards in New Jersey and brought me back my two favorite wines.
Oh wow! Now wait a minute. What's your favorite vineyard in New Jersey?
Lorita's Winery.
Oh, I love them.
Okay. Have you been to what is it? Three Sisters?
I have not. Tell me about it.
It's nice. They have a whole outdoor pavilion, right? They have live music.
And that's in Jersey?
You can actually stomp the grapes. It's.
Stop it.
Yep.
Okay, that's something to do.
Or
Seriously,
stomp it.
I shouldn't say that. My actual favorite vineyard is Cape May Winery. Cape May Vineyards and Cape May. That's my ultimate favorite.
So we have to go vineyard hopping, right? We can do that safely, right? Because it's outdoors when the season breaks, right? And maybe we'll do some sort of a we'll Facebook Live. And I think I Facebook Lived a couple years ago when I was at the Three Sisters. Yeah, I think I did that.
What town is that in?
You know what? I don't even remember. Where'd you go?
I'm sorry. Technical difficulties.
I didn't know if that was the Sandman or what.
Hold on. My thing just said battery low.
Yeah. I've learned to check my back.
I don't hold a lot of juice.
Yeah.
And that's how we get to Eric. Don't, ladies and gentlemen, don't do what Deidre just did because I checked that and it looked like it was ample. I'm using my husband's laptop, and I guess it wasn't ample. So give me a second. I'm just going to plug this into a different plug.
Nope, that's all right.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You're just taking care of some technical things. Go ahead, Eric.
No. So I'm sorry, Vincent.
I was going to say, what got you so fired up? You were talking about being fired up.
Oh well. Before I do that, because our longtime listener and my beautiful sister Jody was commenting on my full beard yesterday. And you can always tell when my hair starts to look like Cootie Man because I put a hat on. Right? So this morning I had enough energy. I got up and I actually cut my hair again. Well, and if Farrakhan is watching, he and I go back and forth. Farrakhan, listen, I'm never saying that I'm a barber, but I play one on the internet, and I just try to look presentable. And I think I make myself look presentable, right? I've solved for some of the issues around the ear and all that other kind of stuff, right? I got a second light and mirror in the bathroom. I'm just like COVID locked down. You know what I mean? I'm paranoid. I'm COVID locked down, but I don't want to look scary when I go out. So I did that, and then I also shaved my beard. And I used guards 6 and 7 Farrakhan to shave my beard because I wanted to, like, I'm trying to get this like militant look now, right, with the beard thing going on, like mean look. So anyway, what was I fired up about this morning?
Well, first, let me say, you're going to get a phone call from Farrakhan.
I know.
If Diane's listening.
I know, but but I told you I was fired up about this whole notion. Like, we have a bunch of do nothing, a bunch of trifling and just spineless black elected officials, man. More and more that it's rolling out, right? People hopefully or miseducation that we are in the situation. I can't. What are you saying, Vincent?
You're breaking up.
Can you hear me, Deidre? Am I breaking up to you too?
I can hear you.
That must be your phone, Vincent.
Okay.
All right.
So miseducation.
So miseducation is part of why we're in the situation that we're in right now. I don't know if it was Baldwin who said if people were educated, we'd be able to solve these problems, right? If everybody knew. And so there is an ongoing effort to keep people in the dark regarding all of these issues, right? And so if we understand that, and it's real simple, if you take these boards of education that are in black communities, right, and just sit these board members down, starting with the largest school district, right, which is Newark, and say, okay, it's 9 of you guys. Can you agree to this? That it is through miseducation that people are able to continue to, which is why they took Donald Trump off the internet, right? I mean, off of social media, right? They said it was dangerous for him to have that big of a platform, right? Be able to influence that number of people and then provide fake news, right? So we saw it, and we saw what fake news does. And so I'm saying that the books that are in our school system is fake news. Fake news. And so why won't we do to those books, right, what social media did to Donald Trump? Why don't we cancel it?
Well, let's see. We've been talking about that for now 2 years. The miseducation of America, especially that leads to...
Right, but I just want to wait. I want to understand why we don't do it, though. We've been talking about it, but nobody's doing it.
Well, that's a long topic, and we've got Deidre. So
right. So you asked why I was fired up. That's why I'm fired up. So we're gonna bring Deidre on, and Deidre's gonna talk about all of her stuff, and then we're gonna get to that because I think that we need to. You talk about putting the pedal to the metal and holding people's feet to the fire. Well, I think that this is where we need to start. If they can if they could cancel out Dr. Seuss, for God's sake, right? Come on, guys. Anyway. Let's go, Deidre. I got to calm down now.
So today, Eric, the reason I wanted to be on camera today is a couple reasons. I wanted to show off my fancy green screen that I asked my husband for Christmas. So that's behind me. So that's how you can see my wonderful, what I'm going to call my Brooklyn look.
Okay.
Secondly, I also wanted to try out my husband who...
I can't hear you clearly. Put your mic closer to you.
He went back to
There you
work.
Go. Okay.
At the school, a lot of the schools in Jersey went back to school.
Okay.
And he's a dean, and he had to go back to work last Wednesday. So he left his laptop and his fancy camera and his ring, his lighting. So this morning I actually spoke to some students in 8th grade. I forgot what school it was, a charter school in Newark, about my path to entrepreneurship. And before I got on, I wanted to fool around with the lighting and the camera and the laptop. It's like Command Central over here. So
nice.
it gave me a great opportunity to say, hey, let's revisit how you impress on a video call, because a lot of what I went through this morning, it took me a minute to get it together. I'm not even gonna lie. I couldn't just show up. I had a 9 o'clock talk with them, and I told them I was talking to you at 10, so my time was really cut short.
Right.
But because I had a chance to, I got up at 8. I mean, fooled around. I get up at 5 to be perfectly honest. But anyway, 8 o'clock. I did the lighting, the laptop, the this. And I said, hey, by 9:30, I said, hey, Eric, let's do this video this time, because my topic I'd like to discuss today is how to impress on a video conference call.
Right.
Now, as we all know, in this pandemic, this has literally been our lifeline, right? This
Absolutely.
has been the best way for us to communicate with each other and to also see each other, so that you don't feel like you're just on a typical conference call, right? And so people are getting hired over, the video conferencing. I have an intern working for me now, Eric. I don't even think I told you this. She goes to University of Kentucky, and she's from Ghana. She's an international student, but she's handling my social media for me right now. I hired her over a video conference call.
And she's working. And she's working for you remotely.
She is working for me remotely. She lives in Kentucky full time. And I have no space in my office anyway, because I have finally hired I shouldn't say that. I still need a sales rep. I just hired a recent college grad. She started on this Eric. She started on Monday when I was on vacation. That's the beauty of having good staff. She started on Monday. She's getting fully trained. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah, she started yesterday.
Right.
So she is my office services recruiter. I don't need that anymore. But my sales rep role is still open. And so I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But video conferencing, I think, is like it's not going anywhere. Even if we go back to the office or we go back into the school system, and interestingly enough, on that call this morning with the students, the teacher couldn't hear me, but the students could. Right. And so there's all kinds of, and she was like, obviously a little upset because she really wanted to hear me talk, but she was like, oh, the students can hear you, like, go. But I say all that to say is that there's also technical challenges with videos that you never know until you actually get on the call with the person, because apparently they were switching rooms. Okay. And she was like, it worked fine the room before this. And she's like, I don't know why I can't hear you now. So, well,
it's going to be trial and error for a while, right?
Exactly.
But I was in Staples yesterday, to your point about it not going anywhere. And in Staples, they had a chair. They had it front and center. As soon as you walked in Staples, they had it right there. It was a chair, and it had a green screen, like a circular green screen that was attached to the chair. Right? So you could sit, so if you bought that, I think it was $1.99 a chair and a green screen combo. So then all you would need to do is have a tripod with your camera in front of you, right? Which you can buy on Amazon for $49. And then bam, guess what? You got a studio. Done.
Tripods. No. Tripods, Amazon, $15.
Oh, no. I'm saying the camera. You can get You can get a camera.
You can use your cell phone.
Yeah, and then
they've got the Halo light. I think it's a 18-inch big Halo. You stick your phone in front of it. It has a tripod. You set up your green screen, and you're looking perfect.
Yeah, and a lavalier mic. You can get a lavalier mic on Amazon for $8, right? $9. Actually, you can get two. It's a 2-pack for $11.99. So somebody could bid it. You could be in business, right? You could actually be a broadcaster in business, and you don't even have to buy the $200 combo chair thing. You can get a green screen on Amazon for $30, right? And you can use your grandmother's old folding chair. Like seriously. So like for less than $100. you could be broadcasting. I love it. You know, I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Deidre just moved into the perfect center space for your
Yeah, I was
screen.
gonna say I was looking. See, I'm like command central over here, so I have
No, you got to move to your left.
to my left.
Yeah.
She's looking good for mine.
No, there I'm cut off the screen on this thing, Eric.
No,
I'm looking
no,
at that
Now
no.
she's cut off the screen.
No, she's
Yeah,
not.
I'm here.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at you. Now you're cut off the screen. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm looking at the Facebook feed, and I'm not cut off when I move over to the right.
Yes, move back to where you
I'm
were.
gonna try again. Let me look again. Hold on, because it's like I have a. It's a.
You got a delay. Now I'm telling you, only half of your face is on.
I'm looking at the Facebook feed, and she's
Facebook feed. This is better,
yes,
right? Right, Vincent.
yes.
I'm telling you.
Oh no! Wait a minute.
I'm telling you.
You're cut off again.
But I look. I'm seeing it in real time. You're seeing it in a delay. Now you're center.
Okay.
Now you're center. When are you gonna stop listening to Vincent?
Again, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This
Ready?
is why you practice.
Yeah. Now you're perfectly centered. Now you're great.
Okay, she's cut off from mine, so I'm going to wait a couple of minutes for the delay and see if she's back to center.
So I have 5 tips today. Right? Make sure you're center screen. Make sure you don't have that, something on your nose.
Yeah.
Make sure your sound works. Like today with that woman, the teacher, her sound didn't work, but my sound worked. The students could hear me. She couldn't hear me. Have an opportunity to test all of that, right? And don't wait 15 minutes ahead of time. 15 minutes, you should be like, a couple weeks ago, we talked about getting in the right mind space when
Right.
you were about to interview,
Mhm.
including visualizing yourself acing that interview. If you try to do all this stuff 15 minutes ahead of time, now you're going to be frazzled. Now,
Right.
by the time you get really on, you're going to be a hot mess.
Mhm.
So you want to do this an hour before you have a 9:00 interview. At 8:00, figure out all this stuff. If you haven't done it for, like, today was a perfect example because I never did it before. My husband's usually the tech person, and he went to work, so I didn't know about his camera and his ring light and his laptop, and his tech only works on his laptop. So take your time and get to know those little pieces, so that by the time that you have to have your interview, you're fresh, you figure it all out, you're center stage, as you just said, Eric,
Mhm.
and you are ready to go, and you can speak confidently instead of worrying about my lighting, my center, my sound, my you know what I mean? Like, all
Right.
that stuff should be out the way. Preferably the night before, to be honest with you.
So let me ask you a question, Deidre. How important is it? So you notice I have a green screen in the background, right? And you have one too. How important do you think it is to have a green screen and have a fancy background, as opposed to maybe just, positioning yourself in front of a solid white, wall?
So if you do not have a green screen, you don't have to get green screen. I like one because you can change it. I can be here in my fancy Brooklyn apartment, as you see in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can be on the beach, But if you are going to do a video interview, you want, and that's my tip number 2. You went right into it, was to prepare your space. If you have a corner in your home, which is you don't want it to be cluttered. You want it to be clear. Clean lines, which means it could be a plain white background. You just want them to focus on you and not that picture behind you, right?
Right.
I've interviewed people and I'm looking at their background like, oh my God, who's that artist? Artist. It's about the person. It's not there. It's not. You can email them that later and say, wow, you really had a fantastic picture behind you. Can you please share with me who that? No. Don't distract from the interviewer, because we get distracted too. We're, like squirrel.
Bee! There's a bee!
We do, and so less distractions for us as the interviewer, for you, the interviewee. So prepare your space. You don't have to purchase this fancy green screen that I have behind me. You don't have to download please do not download the virtual background, because what happens if you do not have a green screen is you literally disappear. If you lean back, you disappear into the screen, and people know what I mean by that.
Right.
So it's better just to have a clean space within your home, free of distractions, that you can focus on the interviewer, because it's all about you. It really is all about you. And if you make it all about your space, your wall, your color, like, no, let it be about you, because the person wants to get to know you, what your credentials are, what your qualifications are, and that needs to shine in the interview without the fluff. Okay? I'm just being fancy today because I want to be fancy.
Got it.
And I'm not interviewing for a job, right?
Never, ever apologize for excellence.
Thank you, Vincent. The number 3 is to be attentive. So one of the things that I've learned in this sort of virtual world, particularly as it comes to conferences, oh my gosh, so my company right now is in the middle of our conference. And it's all a video and everyone can see you. But guess what? If you try to watch that YouTube video as well as pay attention in the conference, you might start laughing. And our eyes, they can't see what you're doing, but our eyes know, right?
Right.
If I all of a sudden was watching a funny YouTube video and I went like this, you would know that I'm not paying attention.
Sure.
And the interviewer may think you're laughing at him.
So same thing for if you are doing a video interview and you all of a sudden get a text message and your friend sends you a silly picture. No, turn that off. Or if you're using your cell phone, turn those notifications off so it doesn't pop up. I know if you have text messages, you know how it pops up on your screen.
Right.
You know how to turn all those off. I know you guys do. Or if not, there's a YouTube video for that too. Figure out how to turn all those little pop-ups off so that when the interview is happening, nothing is distracting you from being your best and putting your best foot forward. Because that is your chance to shine. If they have taken the time to interview you, you want to show up in your best behavior, right? Which is meaning I don't need my friends who might be employed or unemployed sending me silly videos or pictures.
Right.
Okay? So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4. Learn how to use the mute or unmute button. And we all have been there where all of a sudden our kid comes by, because we all understand we're in a virtual space and kids are home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm home right now. My children are home. But if I went like this, how bad does that look?
Right.
Except I could go like, right? Difference, right?
Correct.
You couldn't hear me yell at her the second time. So learn how to effectively use the mute and the unmute button. And the worst is, you didn't hear a word I said because I was on mute.
Right. So you got to know. Let me ask you another question, Deidre. How important, or does it matter? I find, depending upon who I'm interviewing for the show, well, I'll say this so that people understand what's going on. So you're Skyped in, right? So you're actually, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the camera, right? And you're almost looking up at me. If I do this, now I'm looking at you. You see me looking directly at you, but I'm not looking at the camera. So I have to train myself to understand where the camera is, where everything else is. When I'm interviewing someone, and if I have notes, what I typically do is I'll post the notes right near my camera, right? So that I never have to look down. You see, if I have my notes on my desk and I've got to now lower my head, I got to look down. If I prepare early enough, I can post my notes all up here and then I can just reference them. And so I'm keeping direct eye contact. How important is that?
I think that's really important. So you just gave a really good point to me as, I'm not an expert in this field by any stretch of the imagination, and I do tend to look down.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you, I fooled around with my husband's camera today, so that's what I'm looking directly into. I glued his camera into his laptop, and I'm looking directly at you, I hope.
Yeah, you are.
My notes, I'm looking down to read my notes. But to your point, if you had a virtual interview, you could literally have your resume or your notes about why you're the best person for the job all around your screen, so that you never take your eye off of the person that you're interviewing with. You know, depending on what mechanism they're using. Like right now, we're using Skype. Zoom is pretty popular. Earlier today, I was on WebEx.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know until sometimes the moment of. I mean, I know Microsoft Teams is really big now too, and so all of them have different like setup requirements, right? And so like when you Skyped into me, I realized my cool other room I wanted to be in wasn't available. So I had to like find one, and this is the one that I found. You know, so the notes I think are really key. So now what you just said is I can quickly glance down at my tip number 5 and not really take my eye off of you or the audience, because where you are as well, Eric, for me is down. If I want to see you, I have to look down at my monitor.
Correct.
I'm looking directly at the phone. I mean, sorry, the camera.
Correct.
So that's a really good point, and that takes training, and that also takes practice.
Yep. And what I would recommend, because this is what I had to do. I've been doing this for 5 years now, right? And it took a lot of time. And because I do it every day, it's the practice that you're talking about. What I had to do when I first put the camera in front, because I would look down, I wouldn't focus on the fact that the viewer is out there, right? Not on my desk and not on my sleeve. And, you know, sometimes we, like you said, we get distracted. It's a squirrel, right? So you'll see a piece of lint on your shirt and all of a sudden you're fixated on getting the lint off, right? And you just kind of lose where you're supposed to be. So what I did for a while is I took a photograph, right? And I pinned the photograph next to my camera. And so I would talk to the photograph.
I've heard tips like that.
That's
a great one.
Yeah. And so I would
really
recommend,
because we also like to look at ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Even though I know what I look like, I just still like to look at myself. I'm a cute person. Why not?
Yeah.
Look at myself.
Yeah. And in studio,
you don't need to look at yourself when you're interviewing. You need to look at the interviewer. Right?
That's correct.
You know what you look like, and the interviewer needs to know what you look like in the best possible light.
Absolutely.
Literally.
Absolutely.
Light on you. I mean, it happens to be a really nice sunny day in New Jersey today, and so I have natural light coming into the room that I'm in. But you want to take all these things you got to take into consideration. And just practice ahead of time so that you're not fragile when the opportunity affords itself for someone to interview you. And as they say, practice makes perfect. Like today, we had to fool around with being left or right. We had to fool around with the lighting. You said it was too bright. I turned it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So practice makes perfect, and it helps to have that trusted advisor that might do a practice Zoom call with you to try all those little mechanisms and see which one is better. Is it this light?
I got you.
Is it this setting? Is it this background? Like, what does this look like? How do I look? What does my makeup look like? You know, like someone can do that. And you can practice in Zoom. You can set up your own Zoom room with 2 people, and it could be someone in your house. You just on 2 different laptops or 2 different phones and set it up to see what it looks like. I've interviewed people in their car, Eric, in their car.
Yeah.
You know, can you believe that? I was like, really, boo? We in your car? Okay, let's do this.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay. Also, every computer has a camera, which has a video. So after you set up, even on your computer, you can put it on camera, and it helps you to check your lighting, make sure that you're directly centered. And, oh, by the way, in terms of what you said about looking at yourself, what I see in talking to people, when they are looking at themselves on the camera, they tend to get fidgety. Oh, there's a hair out of place. There's, and then they start correcting it. And when you do that in the interview, you're 1, distracted, and 2, you look nervous.
Yep. And you're off your A game. It's all about being an A game, right? And if you were in an interview, a live interview, because I still conduct those, when you're in a live interview, they always say, don't have anything in your hands. I've interviewed people when they click with a pen. And I'm like, I have to tell them, can you please stop that? Because that's distracting to me. And maybe it's your way of like, maybe that's their coping mechanism, but
Right.
that doesn't work for me. And same thing with looking at yourself in the mirror on a Zoom call or whatever platform you're using, and you might see a hair out of place, and then you try to fix that hair, and then it make it
Right.
worse. And then you're like, oh, now it's done. And then you're like, you're constantly sitting there trying to fool around with a stupid piece of hair,
Exactly.
and you're
Exactly.
gonna blow it.
Yeah. One of the things that I mean, I'm a big talker with my hands on the show, right? But if I'm doing those kinds of interviews, or I have meetings, what I do is, and I'm doing it right now, is I sit on my hands. See, because now I'm sitting on my hands, I can't
That's why.
move my hand. That's absolutely right. And so, but by sitting on my hands, I look more poised, right? Because I can't, I'm not flailing around, trying to. So it's just another thing that I do on camera.
That's a really good point. So that you just taught me something, Eric, because I also talk with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw it when I look it on the screen on Facebook. I'm like, ooh, that looks horrible. My
Yeah.
hands look like man hands.
Yeah. But to the point of distraction.
Wreck-It Ralph.
But to the point of distraction, right? When you
That
say,
was my hands.
yeah, when
I
you
don't know
say
if you
people
guys
get
saw
dis-
the Golden Globe Awards, but that one part when they like make it seem like they were next to each other, and her hand came over.
Ah.
And I'm like, is that a man's hand?
That's funny. That is
But you
funny.
just taught me something, Eric. I think I've heard of that, but I
Mhm.
forgot about it. And
Yeah.
because I talk with my hands, it does take practice to sit on your hands or to remind yourself to sit on your hands,
Mhm.
right? Another thing that you can put to get the benefit of having a virtual interview is you can put positive affirmations all around your computer screen,
Ooh.
right? And no one knows that they're there. It could be positive affirmations about you're beautiful. It could be positive affirmations about you got this. Positive affirmations about smile, right? And some things that you might, you know it, but an interview is can be, you could be nervous. You could be out of work for a long period of time, and now it's finally your first chance of interviewing you, and you're out of practice with interviewing. Maybe you need those positive affirmations ahead of time, and so you put it all around your screen. You could just quickly glance and not really take your eyes off that person for too long while you look at that thing that says smile, and it might just brighten up your smile instead of just sitting there being serious the whole time.
Oh, there you go.
Body language is can still come through on a virtual interview, which is why I think they're doing them, because you can tell a lot from body language. You can tell about excitement. You can tell about if someone's like not interested. You
Right.
can tell a lot. So I think that you just have to practice, and practice makes perfect in any scenario. And then my last one is dress appropriately. So we're in a virtual world, and I know that you're very casual today, Eric, because this is your show. You can dress however you want. The one time I interviewed you, though, Eric, a couple months ago, I appreciated the fact that you actually dressed up. You wore your suit and tie. I don't know what you had on the bottom. You could have I do. But at least the top part looked good.
Yeah. Well, and I got to tell you, I don't know if you saw the commercial. They did a commercial of talking about these Zoom meetings and things that happen, right? Office meetings. And one of the guys, from the top up, from the waist up, he was dressed and he had his underwear on. And something happened and he dropped his laptop, right? So it refocused the camera and everybody saw that he didn't have pants on. So I would encourage, even though you can do that, put the entire suit on. And in that way, you don't have those kinds of issues, right? One less thing for you to worry about.
I wholeheartedly agree. So in pandemic, I'm back in my office in Jersey City. But in pandemic, like April and May and part of June, I dressed up every day. I took a shower. I put on full makeup just to make myself feel like I was in the office. However, what I didn't do was put on dress pants. I would put on like my stretchy, like workout pants.
Mm-hmm.
And as you all know, you're home, you're eating every hour on the hour, so they were very forgiving. But nonetheless, they were pants. So when you and I did those video calls way back then, Eric, I was always dressed up, from from the waist on up. But I had stretchy pants on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's interesting because I did a show much like this one, and again, I have two cameras going. One camera for the audience, and then my Skype, which is attached to my laptop, which you see me on, right? So if you're looking at me, Deirdre, you actually see my shirt. You can see the logo on my shirt, right? Now they can't. And so one day I was doing a show, and I had pajama pants on. I had a tie, a shirt, and a jacket on, but I had my pajama pants on, and I stood up like this. And so now the people who were through Skype could see my pajama pants, right? And somebody sent me a text. They're like, "Oh, sit down." But on the one camera that the audience is looking at, they couldn't see it, right? And so again, just to save from those embarrassing moments, dress. So now you saw when I have jeans on now, right? So even though I'm in my basement studio, I make sure that I put jeans on.
And you, we all have watched the news, and we've seen those embarrassing scenarios of folks losing their job.
That's absolutely right.
I won't even go into the details of that one because it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah.
Lost your job because you ain't had no pants on.
That's absolutely right.
Hey, well, one time I did a church solo, and yes, and you can see everybody in church in the Zoom chat going, "Go ahead, sing, Batman, sing."
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So you want to be real careful with that kind of stuff.
Now, you know what, Vincent? I did not pick you as a cat person. That's a new one.
Yeah. 3 cats, 3 dogs.
I would not have thought of that, but okay. 3 cats and 3 dogs?
Yes.
Well, that's a little much. I don't even have either. However, the slathering has been in pandemic. My kids have come to me asking me for a dog. They were slathering on, and I was almost out. I mean, like really close to giving in because the cute dogs that have been adopted or just brand new born have been so adorable. I'm not a cat person. I could be a dog person.
Oh, see, we were a cat person because we used to live in we brought an old farm in Pennsauken. It used to be a peach farm, a pear farm. And I don't care how much I renovated this house, we could not get rid of the mice. So that's when we started adopting a cat. And then the mice problem were gone. I mean, I spent over $7,000 in exterminators, traps, everything.
Wow.
So we went the old-fashioned way.
I had cats growing up, but then my last cat got ran over by an escape and got ran over. And then the next thing you know, we were dog people. And then my parents had dogs growing up, and then I went to college. And once I got out of college, I was going to get a dog, but I was like, I had too much on my plate. So, hence, no.
You should give in to the children because we just adopted a puppy.
No, because eventually the children leave. And they don't come back. And then the responsibility of said dog is on moi.
Yeah.
Well, I got news for you. The responsibility, you may say, is on the children, but you spend as much time getting them to clean up behind the dog.
Exactly. And so we babysat my sister. She went on a cruise pre-pandemic. And it was October, so the weather was still pretty decent. And I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to nip this dog thing right in the bud. And so we got her dog for a whole week.
Oh.
By day 3, Vincent, 3, they were over it. They didn't want to walk the dog. They didn't want to remember to feed the dog. I said, and it's not even cold outside. Imagine, I told them, imagine when it's January and it's cold or it's snowing. Even if we have a good, sized backyard, someone's still got to go up there and pick up the crap. And, they were over it.
Wow. More people should do that. Like foster an animal for a little while, right? To see whether or not it's something that you want to do, as opposed to making the full investment and then it not working out. Yeah.
And I told my sister, she goes away again, we'll be more than happy to watch him. I have a friend who locks my hair. I said the same thing to her. When she goes away, she needs someone for a week because dog, whatever you call them, those dog sitters are expensive, and then the
Yeah.
ones when they go to the kennel, they're expensive
Yeah.
for a whole week or two. And so I'm willing to do it for free. You know,
Yeah, we spent $600 for it.
All their goodies, all their food, and their leash and the little doggy bag, so I can take them out for a walk. I preferably like it when it's not cold. It's cold right now outside, and nobody's going anywhere anyway.
Right.
But when it's warm outside, we don't mind watching the dog for a week or two, and then we can give them back, like they said with the grandma. We can give them back.
Well, listen, I gotta tell you, I much prefer sharing the screen in the mornings. I think that it looks really cool. So and being able to talk. I mean, I hear you on the phone, but being able to see, and I'm sure the viewers, right, the listeners are not getting anything different, but the viewers certainly are. And so I want to thank you for not only Skyping in, but taking the time to get the lighting and the background and all those other kinds of things. I think that is really cool.
Well, it was a good exercise for me, and so I love to, I'm in quarantine right now because I came back from Miami, so I'm being a prudent human, right? And so one of the things that I got this green screen for Christmas. And I said I wanted to take it into my office. It's funny because I don't know, you have a regular size green screen, Eric, but this green screen, it folds up into like a big circle.
Right.
But I literally had to I put out an APB on my Facebook group because none of us could figure out how to close it. Even my next door neighbor, who's a professional photographer, we took it over there. She couldn't figure out how to close it.
Oh.
So I put out an APB on Facebook. And my friend's husband called me. He says, I had the same exact green screen. He's like, don't follow the Amazon instructions. They're wrong. And so he made me a quick video, and then he walked me through it live, Facebook Live, which is the beauty of technology, to walk me through how to close it. So I went to Miami. I came back. And how about my green screen is sitting there open? And I said, what the heck?
So wait a minute, right? So it's the one where you have to hold both ends, right? And you have to like kind of twist it into a figure 8, right?
Yes,
and then you got to tuck the one
exactly.
piece in, and then yep.
You have the same one?
I've done it before, and that
This one is the chair one, which is why I wanted it, because my office in Jersey City is not that big. And this one I can literally put it on my chair.
Right.
And it's got even a Velcro section for you to strap in like the chair. And so my intention, Eric, is to take this show on the road.
There you go.
When I go back to Jersey City next week.
Oh, that's
and
fantastic.
Then Skype it whenever you want.
That is fantastic. I look forward to it.
I gotta make sure I check my makeup and my hair and all that good stuff. You know, us ladies, we gotta look good when we're on camera. When it's just you talking, and who cares?
Yeah.
Well, one great thing about you Skyping in is that people get to see that beautiful face that matches that beautiful voice and all that wisdom that comes out.
Well, the last 2 weeks I've lost my voice, and it's still a little raspy now because I talk too much, Eric and Vincent. Hey. I went to see an ENT doctor because I thought something was wrong with me. He said, "No, nothing's wrong with you. You talk too much."
Well, listen, but the things that you say are of value to a lot of people, so we all appreciate it.
And I've got jobs, even though.
Talk about the jobs you have.
I'm back in the office. I'm gonna have to switch screens. I'm back in the office, and we have jobs. So I'm gonna talk about some of the jobs that we have open.
Okay.
Some might sound familiar because they're hard to fill. Some might be similar because a lot of jobs, clients constantly call us for similar roles, and so we keep those jobs up all the time. So because I was talking so much, Eric, I had to log myself back in. Just give me a second.
Okay.
But I'll talk about the main one for me while this is loading up. I'm looking for a sales rep. I'm looking for a sales rep that is, you don't have to have a college degree. You don't even have to have that much work experience. What you do need to have is you need to be what the guy Patrick Lencioni calls hungry, humble, and smart, right? If you think you have those 3 attributes, and you definitely need to have a car because you are going to be driving around talking to businesses in the Hudson and Essex County areas. Essex County is mainly just Newark, and downtown Newark, Port Newark. But Hudson County is all the other cities in the county. But you need to be hungry, meaning I'm going to pay you a salary, but I'm going to pay you a commission. You want to make six figures? Come talk to me. You want to be humble, meaning you're willing to take direction. You're willing to learn this business. And you're smart, which means you are the kind of person that can think on the top of your head. You can take direction well, but you also have intelligence to execute what we discuss in the staffing world. I want to talk to you. The salary starts at 35 and up, depending on experience. If you come to me with experience, I am willing to pay you more. But I'm not exaggerating, but you can make six figures in this business if you are all three of those things: hungry, humble, and smart. So that is a role that I have open right now. I'm actively interviewing. I'm Zoom interviewing. I typically do a phone interview first.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll follow. And then if I like you, I'll do a Zoom interview next. And then if I like you, then I'll do an in-person interview. And you do have to wear masks. We are following all CDC guidelines in my office. We're wearing masks. We're social distancing. So you'll be asked to come to my building in Jersey City. We're in a very nice high-rise building with a beautiful view of the Empire State Building. So you're good. That will be the phase 3 of our interview process. So if you feel like you have the credentials based on what I just explained, please email me your resume at deidre.viney@expresspros.com. Find me on LinkedIn. You'll see my hair looks slightly different. I've been going through some hair issues. No, that's not the right word. Hair explorations.
Oh,
So my picture on LinkedIn is my curly fro that I've had for 15 years. I got tired of it, hence I locked it. And it's this locking thing. I haven't done a new photo on my LinkedIn yet. And get this, guys, for my 50th birthday, my friend Nana, who is a professional photographer, she also is a world-renowned wedding photographer, is going to photo shoot me in the spring.
Oh, wow.
So whatever photo she chooses, we're going to do like a 3-part. I'm going to do a professional one, I'm going to do a semi-professional, and I'm going to do an all-out like Vogue, because she's photographed things for cover photos. So I want it to be nice outside because I want to do like natural lighting and that kind of thing. And she's going to get my hair, makeup done. I'm excited. Uh-oh.
Oops.
Anyway, I can go for a couple of my jobs. I'm hoping that Diane is going to get back to our Fridays where we'll dig deeper into a couple of these jobs. So I'm looking for a maintenance shop foreman. That's for a client in Newark.
Mm-hmm.
You guys that are handy, that know exactly what that means. They're willing to pay really well for that role. I'm looking for a general warehouse machine operator, second shift, also in Newark. That one is starting at $13.50 an hour. I am looking for a bookkeeper. I think I have 2 bookkeeper roles. Yes, I do. I have 2 bookkeeper roles that I am looking for. That one is in Jersey City. If you have QuickBooks experience, 2 to 3 years experience as a bookkeeper, we would love to talk to you. All of these should be on my website. I've been on vacation for 2 weeks. I haven't really checked in with the intern. So give me like sometime today. I'll make sure they're all on our website. These are my professional roles. I'm looking for a business analyst. A lot of these are work from home as well, guys. I'm looking for a regulatory compliance auditor. I'm looking for an IT auditor. I'm looking for that's it. That's it for the professional ones.
Okay.
I'm also looking for a maintenance mechanic. That's also in Newark. Newark is super busy for us right now. Oh, here we go. I'm looking for an auditor in banking. I'm looking for an executive assistant. That one is in Jersey City. That one is really particular. You need to have at least 5 years experience supporting C-level executives. I'm looking for a chassis stacker, second shift. You know what that means? If you're a forklift driver and you have a car, that role, you need to have a car because of the location in the Port of Newark.
Okay.
I'm looking for a compounder, first shift. You don't need a car for that. That's in Newark, but you do need to be able to have some forklift experience. Let's see. And then my second page, I am looking for... Oh, that's open too. Oh, I'm looking for some gate checkers. I think I talked to you guys about that before. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift. Sunday through Thursday. You do need to have a car for that. That is also in Newark because of the location.
Okay.
I have a mid shift, which is a noon to 8:30. That one is in Bayonne/Jersey City. You don't need to have a car, but it is probably a 20-minute walk from the light rail. I'm looking for a data entry office clerk. That is a direct hire role, which is very exciting for you guys that might be working somewhere unhappy. That one is located in Jersey City/Bayonne. You need a car because of the location.
Okay.
And I'm looking for an administrative assistant in Jersey City, right near Jersey City Medical Center, so sort of downtown. And then my last one is I am looking for a shipping clerk. That one is in Jersey City/Bayonne area. You don't need a car, but same thing. It's a 20-minute commute walking from the light rail. So that's what I have. I have 22 jobs open right now, guys.
Wow.
I'm on vacation, and my staff have been knocking it out the park. This is kind of my first time really looking at all of these, to be honest with you. And I actually got a text message this morning that I have to call another company in Jersey City that needs some workers. And my staff wanted me to call him because apparently he wants to talk some other details. It's my account. So jobs fluid, which means they come and go. But if you are looking for a job, even if you are employed, we have direct hire roles too.
Right.
Please send over your resume to my team. It's jobs, period, Jersey City NJ at expresspros.com. That's jobs, period, Jersey City NJ at expresspros.com. We cover, like I mentioned, jobs in Hudson County as well as Newark. So if you want to work in those cities and counties, then we can help you. Express Employment is a franchise. So if those locations do not work for you and you live, let's say, in North and South Jersey, then check out our website at expresspros.com to find a location nearest you.
Deidre, do you still have the $50 bounty?
So get this, guys. I've changed it. So this is my new thing. You wait. This is hot off the press. I'm going to call what I call the Peloton method.
Uh-oh.
So you guys know I got a Peloton for my 50th, and Peloton does something very unique. When you get a code from a current Peloton member, you get $100 off your bike. And guess what? The person that referred you, they also get $100. So my new deal, scrap the $50. So this is hot off the press. My new deal is this. If you refer me anyone and they work for us for 80 hours, which is about 2 weeks, you get $25. However, your person you referred who just got a new job, who's probably happy as anything, guess what? They get $25 after they work 80 hours. So it's a win-win. I think it's a beautiful way to support and be an ambassador. So now I'm an ambassador for Peloton, because if you want to buy a Peloton, holler at a sister, because I'm going to give you my code because I get $100.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So that's what we're doing now is 25 and 25. And guess what? You want to keep referring me people, you keep getting $25 and that person gets $25.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that after the show too. But you know what? But what I really want to do is I want to try to figure out how to get a list. So I don't know if you already have it in a list form, the jobs that you just mentioned. But if you can get them to me in a list, I will post that list in my on my page. Do you see what I'm saying? Like just post the list.
Yes. So what I do, I've been on vacation, but we do send out a newsletter, Eric, and I'll be more than happy to add any email nuggets you give me onto my newsletter. And then also, like I said, I'm going to put in the chat the link to my website, because all these jobs should be listed on our website. They fall out after 2 weeks.
Oh no! So you can add the Eric Dawson Radio Show at gmail.com to your email list.
I do that, and then you'll get it every week.
Perfect.
I appreciate it.
All right.
And you can add to, if you don't know what to do with your $25, send the cash app it to vinceneesonbucks.com.
Listen. Okay, so we haven't talked food. But I will share with you
And I tell you,
that
I don't want any. I don't want the referral fee, right? But if there is a
see,
nope.
go
But if
ahead.
there is a referral fee, right? And if people do get and you want to still do that, I'll figure out some place to donate it. So that's what we'll do.
Well, the way it works is here's the deal. You'd be surprised when we interview people and they'll say, "How did you hear about us?" A lot of times it's I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm saying
Which is
like
not
I don't
which is not a good
I
answer for me for us to track our efforts.
yeah, yeah. My job is
So
not to do it
and
for
I
the
get
money.
it. We get bombarded with text messages, emails, our girlfriend, our boyfriend, our husband, our wife. Everyone's telling us all the information. So when you finally sit down with someone and when we ask that question, how'd you hear about us? And they say I don't know. I'm like, okay.
Oh, here we go.
So all this thousands of dollars I spent on Career Builder and ZipRecruiter and Indeed advertising and
Right.
Facebook advertising. You don't remember where you heard about us from?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
But
But
you
that's how
won't.
advertising works.
But you don't hold
So
it
sure,
against them, do you? That's not that. But that's not a, the not knowing answer does not count against them in the interview, does it?
no, it doesn't. It doesn't count against it. But I still have to
Okay.
say is I know that Diane wanted to donate her which was $50. Now it's $45. I cut that sucker in half. To Win Horizon, I sit on their board.
Uh
Oh my God, can I plug my event, Eric?
huh. Absolutely.
So I'm still in the works of I got it all together, but I've been on vacation, so I've been not really promoting it. But I'm back from vacation, and I sit on the board for Women Rise, and I am the vice president of the board of directors, and I am putting on a virtual, clean, family style comedy show on Friday. Let me just make sure I get the right date. Friday, April 16th
Mm-hmm.
at 8 o'clock, 8 to 10.
Okay.
We have three comedians. It is a $30 ask. I am also in the process of trying to connect with some local restaurants that want to participate, meaning I want folks to be able to order directly from, let's say, 2 restaurants in Jersey City and maybe 2 or 3 in the Newark area, because I want them to be able to order their food from said restaurant. Restaurants have been tremendously impacted because of this pandemic. So it's a way to connect with my audience that's going to come to the comedy show, with them having food and drinks if your restaurant serves drinks ahead of time for the Friday night. My husband and I did this in December, early December. My friend Margaret did a similar thing where we contributed. We stuck it up on our big screen TV in my living room, and we sat and had our own food and drinks, and we laughed like we were at a comedy show. It was fantastic. The comedians were engaging. They even, because it was via Zoom, they could see us, and they were laughing at my black Santa that sits in my living room.
Okay. That sounds pretty
So
cool.
I hired the same exact organization. So I'm going to put in the chat the link for you to purchase your tickets. They can all be purchased at the Women Rising's website, so that all the proceeds are going towards a wonderful cause. If you do not know about Women Rising, they are the leading and largest domestic violence support system organization in the state of New Jersey, helping women and families achieve self-sufficiency by providing safe and allowing them to lead productive lives through their social services. And so this is my give back to that organization. I typically do a paint and sip. I've done that for the past 4 years. I love it. Apparently, Women Rising loves it because they want me to do it in the fall.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd like to do a. We did before I had this show. I had another show, a podcast called Real Talk, and we were doing a segment on domestic violence, and it was an impactful segment, right? And it was emotional for me because what wound up happening, Deidre, is through us having folks on who were talking about these things, we then started getting phone calls, right, from folks who were in precarious, dangerous situations and seeking advice. And it just kind of spiraled into something else. But we realized that it was needed. I'd like to do, uh, I'd like to talk to you about, possibly doing something like that here, right? Where we bring attention to this issue, right? Because a lot of people don't really pay attention to it the way that they should, and then women and men, right?
I agree.
Who
I
are
agree.
who are in unsafe situations don't know how to, extricate themselves, right? And so to be able to give them those tools, to let them know that there are other people out there who, who are going through or who experience that journey are in a better place now, I think would be helpful to them.
And also, as you may or may not know, during the pandemic, it's domestic violence actually skyrocketed
Yeah, yeah,
because now folks can't leave.
right.
They're in very terrible situations to begin with. Now they can't go anywhere because we're in lockdown,
Yeah.
right? I mean, now it's better because things are opening up. But that April, May, June last year we had seen a tremendous increase in calls to the hotline
Mm,
because the Women Rising has a hotline. They come and they help you get out of very dangerous situations. They provide you with temporary housing. And so I've been on the board. I lost track. I think I'm on a board. You can do like 3 terms. I'm on my 3rd term. So this is it for me in terms of helping them this go round. But I would love to have them on. We have a domestic violence leader within Women Rising. She's been with the organization for a really long time, and she's passionate about what she does. And I would love to have her on to bring a voice to the organization. They do a fundraiser every October, which is actually Domestic Violence Month,
mm-hmm.
and they really do a wonderful job. It was virtual last year, obviously because of pandemic, but they raised actually more money virtually because they shed a light on what's happening during pandemic. March is Women's History Month. So I couldn't put my event on this month because they actually have a couple of events already going on for Women's History Month,
Mm-hmm.
which is why my event is in April. And I was actually supposed to go on vacation like the next day. I don't know what I was thinking, so I'm not going anywhere. But anyway, so it's a day. It's a Friday.
Okay.
Like I said, it allows you. It's family friendly, so it means if you have children at home, you won't have to worry about curse words or any sort of sexual innuendos. I have already, like I said, I went through this already with another, the same exact company I'm using again. So they know to keep it clean. They know they have comedians that will also keep it clean. And so you want to have your teenage daughter or son sit beside you and have dinner, and it'll be a nice family event out. But then it's your $30 will go to a good cause. I am looking for sponsorships. That's also what I'll be working heavily on over the next month with companies that I know. So if you are a company out there and this is a cause that you want to give to, we have sponsorship levels as low as $250. And then you will have your opportunity to, depending on what level you sponsor, you might have your 30 seconds to talk about your organization. I already mentioned to you how we are trying to infuse restaurants. Ideally, I want a restaurant that wants to obviously give a percentage back to Women Rising. I even gave during my birthday, 2 weeks before my birthday, I raised like $500. Couldn't even believe it. Just posted on my Facebook page. So if you are a restaurant that, maybe you were on the upside of this whole pandemic and you were doing really well. There's some restaurants that really did a fantastic job.
Right.
And you want to do a give back. And you are able to either sponsor or both. You want to sponsor and you want us to utilize your restaurant. That's business that you might not have been given. We ask that a percentage of those proceeds that, people can put in a code. We will make it super easy for you. Give me a code, and they put in that said code. I will promote you on the Women Rising's website. I will promote you like I'm doing here, right? If I had sponsors right now, I would promote those sponsors and say that you can order from this particular restaurant in time for the 8 o'clock show on Friday, April 16th, so that you can sit down, you can enjoy your food, you can enjoy your beverage, you can have a clean, fun day in and laugh. We're going to have 3 comedians, a DJ, and a host for 30 bucks.
Wow.
That's unheard of.
And then and then because you can drink at home, you don't have to worry about drinking and driving.
Exactly.
Okay? Drink as much as you want.
We want to support businesses, right?
Right.
We want to particularly support Black businesses if given the opportunity. So if you have a business, if you have a restaurant, please call me.
There we go. Deidre, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. So what happens if when I click out of here, Eric?
Oh no. So no, when you click, I have a single screen that's gonna replace it. We've got a professional operation going on over here.
Well, we didn't talk food, Eric, but your girl is. I'm going on vacation at the end of the month for spring break with my children, and I got a bikini in Miami. Oh, so maybe we'll talk shop for the food in the fall.
Oh no doubt. No doubt. Listen, I want to do so. There are a bunch of things that I want to do, and when we started this, we had segments. I had guests that were coming on, but then as I, was working on, getting my health together, rebuilding my stamina, and then the launch of this business, it just kind of got complicated. But I want to get back to that. So. Having this segment, which I hope we can do, to help aid folks who are in trouble. I want to do that. I want to get back to. I was doing a credit repair show. I know that Diane is now a part of a business that's doing that. So I want to because I think that's critical, especially in the Black community, right? So I want to dedicate some time to helping people or pointing people in the right direction for credit repair. Diane is also an insurance broker, right? And so I want to, really spend more time talking about that because it's vital that we do that. I was talking to somebody who's in the health care space to talk about health insurance and how to find get access to health care. A good friend of mine, he just got on, what is it, NJ Family. So he had been suffering from a whole bunch of stuff. He's got Crohn's disease and he's got a bunch of other things, had some dental issues, couldn't eat properly, but couldn't go to the dentist or go to the doctor because he didn't have insurance, right? So it was just compounding. And then he got this insurance card and he said, Eric, it's like hitting a lotto. So he went and was able to get his medicine. He called me yesterday. He got like $500 worth of medicine at no cost. He was on his way to the dentist today, right? And I said, this is a shame in the wealthiest place on this earth, right? To have people who, can't get the proper care because they don't have health insurance is a shame. So I want to start to build the show back out to be what the original vision was. So hoping to be able to do that. And your friend who is a travel agent, I'd like to talk to her. See if she'd want to do a segment.
I had my Zoom party, and one of the things I did at my Zoom party, I had my 5-0 committee. So shout out to my 5-0 committee because they did a great job for me. The girl even got all emotional. I had to ugly cry, Aaron. It was bad. Anyway, my 5-0 committee, one of the things when we were talking about what I wanted in my Zoom, right? It's my 50th. I wanted to, I didn't really want a party. I was supposed to be at Carnival for Trinidad with my girls' trip. That was my vision, right? Last year, pre-pandemic. But what they did do is they were like, well, what do you want to do? And you know what I said? I said, listen, I'm going to be intentional about my dollars, right? And supporting Black businesses, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, you have to be intentional. This this necklace I'm wearing today is my absolute favorite necklace.
Okay.
It's by an artist named Carol Black Lemon. She lives here in town with me. I bumped into her at a pop-up shop for the holidays like 5 holidays ago. I wear this necklace so much that it has now, it's like, I forget the metal. But whatever it is, the necklace that it came with, it tarnished a little bit. So I texted her this morning because I got her phone number. And I said, hey, Carol, I need a new necklace. Can I come over and I'm willing to pay whatever it's going to cost me to get it? Because I wear this necklace so much. So in my Zoom party, my girlfriends put out a couple businesses that I patronize locally, like Willow and Olivia, which is a fantastic bakery here in town in West Orange, Black owned. You know, I go get coffee at Harper's Cafe down the street. My cousin, my cousin on my husband's side, they own high-end cigar. Literally, it's high-end, but their last name is High. They own high-end cigars in Scotch Plains. If you're a cigar smoker, which I am not, but my husband is, it's very, very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I am also.
Like once or twice because I had to, because it was like grand opening and I got to support. And then I'm like, I come out smell like a chimney.
Yeah.
But what I still want to say is that I forgot Lavish Lifestyle, but she's the one that dropped off my, she went down to Lorita's for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so on my Zoom call, she was like, Deidre, you forgot to put my business in your e-bike. And I said, okay, first of all, I didn't do the e-bike. Second of all, girl, you're right. And so she's so dope. She's been in business like 15 years. Her credentials are amazing. She not only does she do travel, Eric, but she also does events. And even she has been pivoting during pandemic to do events, smaller venues, you know, outside events.
Mm-hmm.
And so she told me, I talked to her yesterday, she told me that now they got her in the Hamptons because they're gearing up right now for the summer.
You go.
So I know she would love to come on and talk about what she does.
Cool.
And she loves the video too.
Okay.
So you can put her on video. She's super cute because, you know, I only got cute friends.
All right. There we go. Looking forward to it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is.
So I forgot a couple of businesses. My own darn son has a business and a website, handymanzo.com.
I know that is amazing. That is amazing. And you know, I would love to have him. But I would love to have him on as well, right? To talk about his business, to talk about, you know, look, you can find a way. You know, there are things out here that you can do. Yeah, get up, you know.
And he tapped into something that he's good at. So my son,
never underestimate.
He was like born. We used to buy those $100, $200 Lego sets, and he would beg his grandma to buy it for him.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward, he put together our grill, and our grill is like regular grill, gas grill, and a smoker. He sat there, put it together. My husband timelined it, and then tagged the company on Twitter. And then we were like, you know, he turned 15 last year, and I said, you know, with working papers, you can get a job at McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts. No shade to any of those. But we were like, why not start your own thing? And so, you know, in December, one neighbor hired him because of a post we put out that says Lorenzo's for hire. And the rest, as they say, is history. He's busy at least 2 to 3 times a week. And he priced his items based on the job and not the hour. Because, you know, mama and dad is coaching him.
Right. There you go.
So he's actually virtual on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So guess what, Eric? He's available on Tuesdays. He can come on in my slot.
I would love. I would love that.
The next future tycoon in the makings, right there.
Looking forward.
And my daughter, we're trying to figure out what my daughter wants to do. She actually, she got a jewelry set, and she made me these beautiful earrings and put like a little $4 tag on it. She's like, "Mom, that's $4." I'm like, "Oh, for me."
She didn't give you the family discount?
She made it for you to give her $4.
You didn't get the family discount?
Yeah, it's $4.
Apparently, she said that was a discount. She says, "Mom, they should really retail for 10."
Oh, okay.
There you go, smart girl.
Good. Hey, enterprising young people. That's fantastic.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
So,
fantastic.
but we can start with my son because his business is really taking off. My daughter, she's still like, we fine tuning hers. She wants to write a book too, so we're in the process of sort of helping her navigate. My father-in-law, rest in peace, died pre-pandemic in November of 2019, and he was a big artist. And I know a lot of the artistry that Dana gets is from him because she likes to act. She's in acting classes, and she also is a writer. So he left. My husband is his only child. He left him the rights to a couple things. One of which was a play he put on at NJPAC, and we want to possibly turn that play into a book that Dana's going to write.
Okay.
Yeah. So details to come.
Looking forward to it. Deidre, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.
See how fantastic that was? So now Deidre, when she looks at the screen, she'll see what just happened.
I'm still here, Eric. Don't go talking about me.
No, I'm not talking. But you'll see the transition. Watch. Did you see the
It ain't
transition?
that bad. I've been looking at all the texting Diana did about me.
I'm like Command Central over here, and then like my screen keeps closing on me, so I don't. I gotta log in with my password and all kinds of stuff.
So
It's still delayed. So I'm gonna see how it goes.
watch it. Look at it. It's
What
pretty.
is it? A 20-second delay? How long is it?
Yeah, it's about a 20-second delay.
Why does it keep flicking like that?
Could be your camera angle or lighting
Yeah.
reflecting on the green screen.
So it was me. I'm a novice at this.
Listen, everybody who is a
So-
professional or master
right.
at anything, start at your level.
So I wanna jump into this. I wanna read this. I told you guys, and I'm gonna try to, and I would encourage Vincent, you and Diane, and I'll talk to her about it throughout the month while we're prepping for the the show to talk about the book, is to find poignant points in the book, right? And then post them, right, so that people can read it and get some understanding, right, as we go forward. And then let's try to do that daily so that we can keep them engaged. But here's what I want to read. This was out of chapter 1 in the book. Please mute your phone. Out of chapter 1 in the book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It says, with Selma and the Voting Rights Act, one phase in the Civil Rights Revolution came to an end. A new phase opened, but few observers realized it or were prepared for its implications. For the vast majority of white Americans, the past decade, the first phase, had been a struggle to treat the Negro with a degree of decency, but not equality. White America was ready to demand that the Negro should be spared the lash of brutality and coarse degradation, but it had never been truly committed to helping him out of poverty, exploitation, or all forms of discrimination. The outraged white citizen had been sincere when he snatched the whips from the Southern sheriffs and forbade them more cruelties. But when this, to a degree, was accomplished, the emotions that had momentarily inflamed him melted away. White Americans left the Negro on the ground and in devastating numbers walked off with the aggressor. It appeared that the white segregationist and the ordinary white citizen had more in common with one another than either had with the Negro. Now, it's chapter 1. Where do we go from here? And so when I read that, and I don't want to, so we'll talk about the book later, but the thing that they had in common, right, was white privilege, right? Being part of the dominant caste. And so no matter what some of them may have felt that they wanted to do to absolve themselves of some guilt or whatever, right? And this is the thing that and I think this is the key. Even with like the statement that Mitch McConnell had when he said, "You got your reparations." See, so Mitch McConnell says, well, to some degree, you're being treated more decently than you were treated before. And so that's where the buck stops. But equality, equitability, nah, we're not doing that, because that requires some level of sacrifice in terms of our white privilege. See, you being treated more decently, we don't have to give anything up. In fact, in some respects, they gain something, right? They gain some sense of humanity for themselves, right? They can look in the mirror and say, "I did a job well done." We don't allow them to beat black people anymore. Right? That's chapter 1. It's going to be a good read. Again, where do we go from here? Chaos of Community, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We're going to be reviewing the book. What's it? April 1st? Right? So that is it.
Yes, April 1st.
Right.
Ready.
Okay. So, but like I said, one of the things that, I would implore both you and Diane to do is to pull things that mean something to you specifically out of the book. And let's try to put something up daily, for people to consume. Because some people may not buy the book in the beginning, but if we encourage them through these kinds of posts, maybe they will. And then even if they don't, right, they'll get to read these little snippets, these vignettes. Hello, Diane.
Good morning. So on top of everything that I'm doing, you want me to pull out of the book and post it? You are asking a lot, Eric.
Why? If you what I'm saying is this: if you're reading the book, if you're reading it and you go, "Oh my God," like if there's an "Oh my God" moment, like an "Oh my God" thing, I'm saying just take that. Just
okay.
It could be just a paragraph.
Don't hang your hat on it, but
Well, I'll be doing. So I am.
You'll do it. You will do it, and I will try. I will consider it. I'm in that phase where I have to learn how to say no to stuff. So I'm gonna say no, and then if I do it, it's a bonus. I don't know who's a bonus to, but it's a bonus.
All right. Well,
I can't see your face. What's your face, Eric?
No.
It sounds more like not a bonus, but it's going to ease my guilt because I've already warned you in advance that I'm not going to do it.
No. Listen. You're managing my expectations by saying you'll try, and so that's cool. The thing that I posted this morning about Dr. Seuss, right, is crazy. That they are, and I don't know if in the article it lists the books that they're going to remove, but I'm gonna read a little bit of the article for you guys who didn't read it. It says 6 Dr. Seuss books won't be published anymore because they portray people in hurtful and wrong ways. Right? The titles are, and to think that I...
Wait, are the books, Dr. Seuss books, real people or are they cartoons? So I'm confused.
You don't know what a Dr. Seuss book is?
I know Dr. Seuss, but his stuff
I'm reading books off to you, right? So one book is called On Beyond Zebra. Another one is Scrambled Eggs Super. The other one is The Cat's Quizzer. Another one is If I Ran the Zoo. Another book is And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. And the last one is McElligot's Pool. Those are the 6 books that they'll be removing.
Okay, well, I've never read any of those 6 books, so I don't know what they talk about.
Right, but irrespective of what they talk about in the oh shucks, I hate and that's a strong word, but I hate that they have so many pop-up ads when you're trying to read an article, right? And so on your phone you're trying to read it, and then all of a sudden your whole screen refreshes, and then you miss where you are.
Yeah, it is a very strong word you dislike.
Yeah, I hate it. So, 2 specific examples, according to this study, are found in the books The Cat's Quizzer. Are you smart? Are you smarter than the cat in the hat? And If I Ran the Zoo. In The Cat's Quizzer, the Japanese character is referred to as a Japanese. Has a bright yellow face and is standing on what appears to be Mount Fuji, the authors wrote. Regarding If I Ran the Zoo, the study points out another example of Orientalism and white supremacy. The only 3 Asian characters who are not wearing conical hats are carrying a white male on their heads. In If I Ran the Zoo, the white male is not only on top of and being carried by these Asian characters, but he is also holding a gun, illustrating dominance.
Okay, so the reason why some things should not be updated is because the thinking of people is not correct. So there's some things you just should not tamper with. The cat in the hat, green eggs and ham, keep it real basic. I agree that should be removed. Because that's taking down a whole nother avenue of adult perception and thoughts, and now putting it on a child to now consume. And now you're altering how they see the world as well. So yeah, no. That's why I asked you initially, are we talking about cartoon characters, or we talk about real life people? Because in Dr. Seuss books, they're all cartoons.
No, those are cartoon characters.
I understand that, Eric, but they're very fictitious worlds they live in.
But it doesn't matter so if you have a fictitious world and you're mistreating people in that fictitious world who resemble people in our real world.
Well, this is what I'm saying. The Cat in the Hat initial books do not resemble people in the real world. They are fictitious. It's a fictitious world, characters, all of that. And you can see it in how they make the characters look, the words that they use, the play on rhymes and stuff like that. That's when I say some things should not be altered, and you should leave them in their original form. So these books that you're talking about should be removed.
Well, I'm going to suggest this. This is what I'm suggesting. Since we are all socialized under this current construct, all of us, all authors, we all are. And to the degree that we are tainted, right, and are skewed in our views of things, I would suggest that we have to scrutinize everything. Everything. I'm going to say that it is possible that everything is tainted. Everything. I'm not willing to give anything the benefit of the doubt. Right? Subliminal messages. See, because if you have an author, right, who is insensitive in their white privilege and the current social hierarchy that exists, right? And so because of that, they, in their insensitivity and blindness to, what's really going on, they author a book, then there may be things in there, right, based on how their skewed vision sees it, that they think is okay. So I'm saying everything needs to be relooked at, especially, see, and we as a general public, so for Dr. Seuss or that publisher to take this position, that's cool. But I'm more specifically talking about things that enter into the public school realm or in our public libraries, right? That are government funded. Those things we need to sift through all of this stuff and be more careful about what folks are consuming.
Well, I can say this. The miseducation or the misinformation of racism is the gift that just keeps on giving. One of the things when I was in sixth grade, part of English literature was to read Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. And we protest as students because the book was racist. Not only did we protest, read it to my mother, she got a lot of other mothers together. They went before the school board, and they wanted it taken out because of the racial portrayal of blacks or or people of color, or as Eric says, lower caste. One was the slave who was accused of the crime, which happens a lot and still happens today, and the other one was Injun Joe. The true perpetrator. So they went from one lower caste to another lower caste in terms of blame shifting. And so that has to go. The other thing, in terms of what Diane said, the fictional illustration reflects reality. The white man with a rifle dominating over a group of people who he dominated them so much that his feet did not touch the floor. He had to be carried. That still persists in the mindset starting very young until a person grows older. They feel as though, no, I'm white, I got a gun, I've got privilege, so I can storm the Capitol. So that consistent miseducation, and we talked about it on the show, how our public school system still use the books, which were edited by the Daughters of the Confederate, that glorified the South's rebellion. We're talking about glorifying traitors. We're talking about glorifying people who stood against the United States for the exact same privilege that we're still fighting today. And a lot of that miseducation is the motivation behind all these people feeling that, they're superior even though they're white trash living in a trailer. They feel that they're superior even though they are less educated than us. They feel that they're superior because they spent their life being indoctrinated into their superiority. And that has to stop. That's what I love about the 1619 Project. It is all involved in changing the mindset. And yes, Dr. Seuss even pandered to the belief and understanding of white supremacy. So no, they have to be changed. They have to be removed. Oh, by the way, the books that they are removing, don't sell anyway. So I mean, that's still a watered down victory. I mean, those books were dying a natural death. You want to make some change? Change what the children are learning right now in the school systems. Change some of the mindset of some of these teachers. Because, right now there was a teacher in Texas who got fired because she went before the students and said, look, I'm sorry about what happened to Breonna Taylor, but that's what happens when you associate with drug dealers. And that was all misinformation and miseducation. He wasn't a drug dealer. In fact, they even went to the wrong address with a no-knock warrant. They went after the wrong guy. The guy that they were actually looking for was already in custody. So that miseducation that continues to permeate the white supremacy, based upon the excuse that, oh well, they deserved it because they did something wrong. That has to stop.
Well, we understand it has to stop, but we have to be, we have to be vigilant, in enforcing it, right? And so, and this is why I say again, we can have the conversation about the 1619 project and such, but here's what I would ask, right? So we know how they're fighting in California, right? But I try to keep things local. What are they saying in East Orange about it? What are they saying in Irvington about it? What are they saying in Newark about it? What are they saying in South Orange, Maplewood, where we know that there's segregationists, right, and that they racially profile and racially track our children out of school? What are we saying in Montclair about the 1619 project, right? What are we saying in Newark about the 1619 project? What are we saying in these towns that are right here in Essex County? What are we saying about it? So for us, see, because what we always do is we look abroad, right? We look out at the news and we say, oh, yeah, they are fighting for, they're doing this. No, right here, right now, our children in our neighborhoods next door to us are being indoctrinated into a culture that does not benefit us. And that's why, so when I read this article about, like, okay, I understand the level of sensitivity. And so you say that it was a small win because the books weren't selling anyway. But my only point is, if we realize, if we're finally at a point where we're going to realize, and actually mute your phone, finally at a point where we're willing to realize that that children or people uh, uh, ingesting this content is not healthy. Why do we in our community, right, continue to allow them to shove this crap down the throats of our children? And then I'm talking about the everyday citizen, right? And then why are you okay with watching the elected politicians be okay with it and not speak out about it? So they talk about these lofty things, right? This bullshit stuff. I'm going, no, deal with this. So for me, and then this is why I was saying about that thing with, what do you call it? What do you call Roland Martin again, Diane? Butter biscuit, right? So when I watch that thing, I'm going, yo, start here. Here's some place that you can start real simple, really simple.
Well, you want my opinion of your question? One, I have to say, is first and foremost, a majority of them don't understand the subliminal repercussions. In fact, they are still locked in it. Two, we have sometimes school systems which are predominantly white supremacist rule or white supremacist mindset, and Negro whisperers who just go along to get along. So, and the other is that when we do have black people who have the intestinal fortitude to stand up and question and demand differences, they are marginalized by either the establishment or the Negro whisperers. They are marginalized. They are called names like Butter Biscuit, the great charlatan, or any of those other things, which take away the credibility of the message. We do that, and a majority of it is because we do it to ourselves.
So wait a minute.
Wait a minute. For a lot of them, they don't even have standing in our own way.
Wait a minute. So no, I'm not gonna allow, just because Roland Martin has the same skin color as me, I'm not gonna let him perpetrate a fraud. I'm not gonna let that happen. Right? I'm not gonna give him a pass simply because he shares the same skin color as me. Not gonna let.
No,
Wait a minute.
no,
Wait.
And I'm not for giving people of the same skin color a pass because I demand the same level of excellence in them
Okay.
and the same level of performance. But what I am saying about that is this: is what Roland Martin's saying. Is it the truth? Does it help? And so if those things meet that metrics for me,
right.
then why not support it?
Right, because
Okay, so
go ahead.
let me just jump in real quick. So I understand where he's coming from. However, when a Roland Martin uses words and uses people for his platform to push himself ahead, while he knows that what he's doing is harming the community, he has to be called out.
There we go.
The butter biscuit that he is.
There we go.
Well, here and that part I agree, but is what he's using okay? Now, let's keep it real. We all do a lot of things with the notion that it does two things. One, it helps the community, and two, it helps our agenda, especially if you're in that Roland Martin position. That part is true. But what the main point is, do we discount the simple fact that he's not totally altruistic and discount the message, which is true? That's where the conflict lies.
Right, and so
how can his message be true if he's using people for his platform? And that's what you have to dive into. What is it that he's saying that is helping advance the community? Just because he's talking about issues doesn't mean it's helping people. He's just using a platform for himself.
Well,
you know what? Wait a minute, Vincent. I'm gonna put it to you like, wait a minute, Vincent. You know how much? No. Right.
Or is he using his platform for the community?
Right. So here's what I'm gonna say. Stop for a second. I'm gonna put it to you like this, Vincent. This is the analogy I'm gonna use in what you're trying to paint him as. So if I took a drug dealer, right, and the drug dealer had 25 runners, and all those runners before they were hired by that drug dealer, they were unemployed. So they couldn't pay their bills, right? And so as a result, they were being evicted and it was creating whatever. But now this drug dealer now, because he employs them, he has boosted the economy in the community. And so I now look and say, so now instead of calling him what we should call him, you say, but look at what he's doing. He's boosted the economy. Houses are being built, rents being paid. All these things are happening, and you want me to ignore the fact that he's a drug dealer. That's what you're telling me to do with Butter Biscuit.
No, that is absolutely not what I'm telling you to do. For this simple reason. Roland Martin has a national platform and a name, which brings a lot of people to hear what's on the platform and what he has to say. He is not selling drugs or doing anything to actually harm the community.
No. So Vincent, so you missed my point, right? So Vincent, but you missed my point.
You're comparing an apple to an orange.
No, Vincent, but you missed my point, right? The fact
he's using his platform to bring other ne'er-do-wells on to give them the acknowledgement and a platform that they have done nothing in the community. That is the problem.
Well, okay.
When you talk about his platform, he can use his platform however he wants, but when his platform is harmful to the community, we have to call it out. When he uses his platform to bring on other people who we know are not doing anything in the community,
right?
But then that's a problem.
Right. So for me, Vincent, right?
Let me say this.
Vincent, for me, when Roland Martin did that thing, right? I wanted him to talk, if he's going to talk about Newark, I want him to talk about the damage that the Newark public school system is doing to the kids in Newark. I want him to talk about all the black folk, right? Not the white governor, right? But the black folk who are elected in Newark, who are taking money and turning a blind eye while these 35,000 plus children are being abused, right? So he knows that. He knows that. But that's not his the dirty water. Let's keep going on and on about, but they have an agenda. Let us be clear. They have an agenda. And their agenda, and I talked about this yesterday, was to make themselves relevant so they could fleece the governor.
Well, that part may be true.
Right. Well, wait a minute. So let's stop there.
Please let me finish. Let me finish. That part may be true, and I don't have the information involved to substantiate. So I'm going to take that at its word, or look that in the face and say, okay, now that part may be true, but there are also two other points that we're looking at. For the ne'er-do-wells, it gives people an opportunity, since they therefore got on this platform to support it, that gives people the opportunity to hold their feet to the fire. For the other that we're talking about, in terms of what you want him to say, that is not what he wants to say. See, what Eric Dawson wants to say is what goes on every day on the Eric Dawson show.
No, Vincent, I don't need that. I don't need that. Wait, no. But Vincent, no, I'm not saying that he can't say what he wants to say. But when you tell me that I call him a fucking butter biscuit for saying it, that's the problem, right? So that was it, right? Wait a minute, wait.
Okay.
Wait, so you criticized, so you critiqued my criticism of him. I'm not saying he can't say it. Of course he can. This is America, right? He's got freedom of speech. It's his platform. But when he comes to sell garbage in my community, I'm going to talk about him. And
you have that platform to do it.
Right. So that's it. Then we're done.
Let me finish.
Then we're done.
Let me finish, Eric, please. If Eric's opinion, and he has the constitutional right to his opinion, if Eric's opinion is that he's the butter biscuit, you have that right as well.
Then we're done.
No, Eric, please let me finish. Let me get the words out of my mouth. But what I was saying is that sometimes the message or the messenger is attacked and diminished, which diminishes the message.
Right, and what I'm saying to you right now is the message. What I'm saying to you right now, Vincent, is the message, right? There's a hidden message in there, right? So on the surface, they're trying to. So they took a spoon, right? And the spoon's covered with is piled with shit, and they sprinkled some sugar on it. And what you want me to do is focus on the sugar instead of pointing to people the fact that there's shit on the spoon. And what I'm doing is saying, no, it's a shitty spoon, people. It's a shitty spoon. And what you're saying is, no, people should be focusing on the sugar, Eric. That's ridiculous.
What I'm saying to you is this: if someone gives you a steak dinner on a new trash can lid, you're not looking at the steak dinner. You're focusing on the trash can lid.
Right.
But he didn't give us steak.
Yeah, right. So there we go. So.
No. But who disagrees with his message? It's been a lot of talk about the messenger. There has been very little on his message. There's a lot of talk about his panel, but there's no opinions or any type of acknowledgement on the content in which they delivered.
Right, but Vincent, see again, but Vincent, you know what? Wait, Diane, please, one second. Vincent, you know what that's called? You know what, when people do what Roland Martin did, know what it's called? It's called conning. Right? Confidence, a confidence man, right? A con man. So they'll do this, and they want you to focus on that so much that you look and go, let's pay attention to that. And then you don't focus on the thing that I'm talking about. He's a con man, right? So yes, he'll talk about this and get somebody like you to say, oh, let's focus on that. But I realize it's the ruse. It's the red herring. It is the scent that they want the hound dog to follow while they come and fleece the freaking community.
And what I'm saying is that may be right, but in terms of and you may be right in your opinion. What I'm saying is
focus on the ruse. Focus on the red herring.
Eric, please. See, when you do that, I elevate my voice, and then people talk about me shouting. So please, what I'm saying to you is this.
I heard what you said, Vincent.
When you eat fish, you eat the meat and you spit out the bones. I'm saying that let us eat the meat and spit the bones out. Let us stop focusing on, no, I don't want any fish because it's got bones in it.
Oh, gosh.
So,
Go, caller.
So take the con. So pull the good parts of the con out. Just take a little piece of the con job
and whatever tastes good to you, take it out and ignore the fact that you're being kind. There is no good teachers of fun. Nobody should want no one should want a steak dinner on top of a garbage can, and no one should want to take out pieces of a bad piece of fish. What are you talking about?
Oh, wait a minute. Because you know what? I'm going to say this to you, Vincent. Based on your logic right now, right? There were some good things that Donald Trump did, right? There were some good things that Donald Trump did. But you recognize, and you didn't, and not 1 minute. So I want to talk about the hypocrisy right now. Not 1 minute did you say during your whole tirade about getting rid of Trump that we should sift through the good things, right? And we should take those good things and consume them, right? You were saying we gotta lock, stock, and barrel, get rid of him because of his danger. And oh, come on, Vincent.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that. That's exactly what you did. And what I'm saying is, from my perspective, a guy like Roland Martin doing what he did poses that same level of threat to the people in my community.
Now, as I said in the beginning of Donald Trump's presidency, I said in the beginning, well, I like the fact that my 401k is doing well. I said I like the fact that we have stopped sinking a lot of money into NATO. I like the fact in saying of those things. And I did acknowledge that. But the big difference why I said that we needed to get rid of Donald Trump is because of he did more bad than he did good. I wanted to get rid of Donald Trump because of him lying and mishandling the COVID virus. I wanted to get rid of Donald Trump because of his outward and his overt racism and support of racism. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get rid of Donald Trump for the simple fact that he had put us in a position in which it may take lower caste people 10 years to recover from.
Right.
Now, what the good that he did do was good for a certain class of people.
Right.
But the majority he hurt.
And then the same point I'm making about Butter Biscuit.
Okay, and that's the same point I'm making. Yes, he may be in his mind have some level of increasing his platform and his pay, which okay is understandable. But for the bulk of it, he was talking about something in an issue that can help the lower class people reach a huge level of financial security versus the insecurity. He was looking at attacking those people who had power, who were you
right? But Vincent, see, but here, right? But Vincent, here's where here's what you don't understand. He has no intention on doing any of that. None.
Eric, we don't.
Oh no, I know.
Eric, you may know, okay, and I respect that. All right, but what I'm saying is what I see, I haven't seen any part of his intention to do harm or exploit the community that puts the community in a worse position than where they are now.
Really?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But you know what the problem with that is to me, for real? And honestly, I know y'all get mad at me when I say this, right? That's just business democratic rhetoric, right? If he ain't being paid, he's trying to be paid. That's just democratic rhetoric, right?
Well, first of all, I'm not getting paid.
So this is the bottom line, right? When you make the analogy of Trump, I have no expectations of Trump to do me right. I have no expectations that he should care about my community. I have no expectations that he thinks about me or my community in its longevity or its progress. So he made it very clear. When he did give Donald Trump a big up, right, it was about his 401k, right? Forget the person that can't have a 401k. Okay, whatever, right? So, but when you're talking about the Roland Martin, those are the ones that should be pulled down, as I've said about the mayor of Newark, right? That he should be lynched in Lincoln Park with everybody watching and us throwing food at him at the same time. Because if you are
guys, I'm sorry, Joe.
About my people, if you are you using your own black face to say that your initiatives and your movement and your leadership is about us? that
Well,
Trump was
for-
going to ever do for
well-
this community, for black
well-
people. But Roland Martin gets on TV every day, and he puts out that. He says that it's all about us, hurting us to the polls for a person, and don't care about you. And so we are supposed to hold him much more accountable than we ever held Donald Trump. That is the point. So no, he doesn't get to feed me a chicken steak on a dirty garbage can, and I'm supposed to look at the steak and say, that's quite good enough. That's asinine of us as a people to continue to accept that kind of behavior, to continue to accept that kind of leadership is the reason why we are where we are.
Well, let's look at the reason why we are.
But black leadership absolutely positively big.
Well, look. First, the reason we are where we are is exactly what you said. We don't have expectations of others, yet we have higher expectations of another. And I'm sorry, but I got a 12. Excuse me.
That's not what she said, though, Vincent.
Excuse me. That is what you said. But listen, I got a 12 o'clock. I got a 12 o'clock class that I'm late for.
Oh,
I
go.
love you all, and I would love to continue this tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So listen. Yeah. The idea of saying, and I agree with you, Jody, and we are at 12:03, so I'm gonna end this. But the idea of a willingness to accept, something on a dirty can, simply because he's black, is crazy, right? But look, but these are the rough conversations that we got to continue to have, right? Because there are people there is this notion, right, that we're not better than that we don't deserve better, right? We don't deserve a clean can, and that if we get a dirty can, that we shouldn't push back. And we shouldn't call him Butter Biscuit because he put it on a dirty can, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, we didn't. I saw your question to Diane about the book, about the movie. I don't know if she saw it yet. But maybe we'll get to that on Thursday.
Thursday, let's talk about it.
Okay, Thursday we're gonna talk about it, and then I'm gonna have some more stuff. Hey, Jody, have you purchased Where Do We Go From Here?
No, I haven't, but I will.
Oh my gosh. It's like just another
your co-host.
it's another one. Like I'm in a chapter now where Dr. King and Stokely Carmichael are going at it, and it's just good. It's good. It's good reading. And they're wrangling, but you know what though?
And I'm going to tape it today, but I go tonight and get my first dose of the vaccination. I'm mad excited about that.
Nice.
Good for you, Jody.
Nice.
Very excited. I've been punking out. I had a couple of
I got you. Now, quick question. If they mandated for kids, what's your thoughts on that? To go back into
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Are we there yet? I'm not there yet.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to get it myself, right? Is to protect my circle or my bubble as much as I can, because they are not able to get it yet or not willing to get it yet. So I'm going to be the one that tries to do that first. And
yeah, good for you.
That lesson openly.
All right. I got one last thing to say. Cuomo is going down.
Yes, he is.
Cuomo is going down. Did you see?
Down in slow motion, or is it going to be like a
Yo, no, it's like a airline that's like 100,000 feet in the air, right? A plane, and both engines.
Going down. Don't say that. Don't do that. Don't do that analogy. Anything but a plane. So I'll be thinking about it now to the next time I get on a plane, to the next time, to the next. I'm like that damn parrot.
Right? You'll be like, the plane is doing a Cuomo. But yo, Did you see the picture of the young lady, the last one, who, the most recent one who accused him? Right? So they have a picture that somebody took at a wedding of Cuomo holding her cheeks, right? And she's got this horrified look on her face, right?
Wow.
And she had indicated that Cuomo had grabbed her face and had asked her for a kiss. And there's a photo. Cuomo is going down. Now, see, here's the thing, though. You got punk Democrats, right? Like Cory Booker, who will wait until it's fait accompli before he steps center stage and says Cuomo should resign. Like, see, he won't do it right now. See, because he's got to spend some political capital to do it. He'll do it when there's nothing to lose, right? Then he'll get all of his media people to get him traveling on Rachel Maddow's show because, you know, she drools all over him, and all the other people that drool all over Cory. And then Cory will do the media thing, and he'll be yelling for Cuomo's resignation. But it'll already be, you know, in the bag. You know, they should...
Well, honestly, I think he's going down, Eric, but I think it's going to be begrudgingly to not just him, but they said, you know, most of Albany is Democratic, and to ask him to leave, they're going to do their best at trying to keep him, and not to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see how fast he goes.
Yeah. But you know what I'm enjoying about it, though? I'm enjoying watching de Blasio kick him in the kneecaps. Right? Because you know he did de Blasio dirty every chance he could.
Yes.
Right? So de Blasio's like, take that. He, you know, de Blasio kicking him in the shins and the ankles.
All over the media, too. He's on every show.
On every show. This is great. Because, and you know, and for me, the other piece is, and notice this, the media was reluctant. Like, they didn't just jump straight out, right? But now the evidence is just so overwhelming. What's happening is just so overwhelming that they can't be seen. And I could see them in back rooms going, we gotta say it. We don't want to, but damn, we gotta say it. You know.
20 seconds, Eric, tell people, because remember, people are listening everywhere. What you're talking about, everybody's not in the tri-state area.
Oh.
What happened?
What happened
to
to
Cuomo you talking about? Because they need to know which one.
Oh, Governor Andrew Cuomo. Right? So the first thing is, you know, he made himself, and I remember I said this, I wish Vincent was on the phone, but remember I kept going back when Cuomo was doing all those news conferences and everything, right? Cuomo made himself, and the Democratic Party did too. They used him. I mean, he went along willfully, right? Because I think he had presidential aspirations. So they tried to make Cuomo the foil for Donald Trump, right? They tried to say, look what a great job Cuomo's doing. Look what a horrible job Donald Trump is doing during the pandemic, right? And I was saying it when he was on. I was like, yo, this dude is just on. This is what's happening. Blah 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 blah. And so then it comes out that they fudged the numbers, right? And that Cuomo made bad decisions which caused lives.
They fudged the numbers at the senior homes, right?
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right. And that Cuomo's leadership, right, is what caused greater numbers of deaths in New York. Right? So that was the thing. And then now the Republicans, their bloodhounds started sniffing that, and they started chasing it. And I'm going to tell you, see, this is what happened. And this, as much as you guys, and me too, right? I'll be the first to say that Fox News is on some other shit, right? Yeah. They're in an alternate universe. But see, these are the instances. And so this is where you look and go, you know what? But you need them. Because if they weren't there, right? It wouldn't have come out. right?
Yeah.
So they put their bloodhounds on this thing, and they started pressuring it. And I'm telling you, in the back rooms with the liberal media, they're like, "Oh my God, we don't want to talk about it, but we got to." Hey, and then it got worse, right? Because now there's blood in the water. So now, first woman comes out and says Cuomo did this, right? Right? Cuomo tried to donkey kick her, right? Said, get out of here, right? I got this. I'm Andrew Cuomo, right? Then another one come out. Now you got a photo. It's over. It's a wrap. But I'm also watching. This is the other thing I'm watching too, and I didn't appreciate this. I know we're over. Yes, ma'am.
What kind of leader do you appreciate more? Do you appreciate the Trump who says, "F those masks, F Corona"? I ain't got nothing to do with none of that. But do you appreciate and just say it and live it? He lived it. He lived everything he said. But do you appreciate that leader that gets on TV every day and has this 2-hour little taste to taste during Corona and says, I am the epicenter of humanity. I care about you, and I care about my people. You were lying and fucking and murdering senior citizens all along. And to me, although it doesn't make one better than the other, I take that Republican that tells me who he is in my face every day, so I don't have to think, wonder, expect, because he is who he is. And that Democrat that will tell the people, I am the humane, I am the moral compass of what politics should look like. I get on TV every day and tell you, I'm saving you people, and was lying all along.
All along.
Well, you know, Jody, I appreciate both of them because I compare the information and I know how they lie. And see, I can listen to those words that they say, those key words that they use. Right. That I know right after that key word comes the lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate both of them. I appreciate both of them. But the thing is, they're both dangerous.
They're both dangerous.
They're both dangerous. They're both dangerous. One is just worse than the next. Like they say, no one devil, next devil. They're both devils.
Well, but you know what though? If I'm gonna use a cancer analogy right now, right? So, my dad had soft tissue sarcoma, and I'm gonna say that Cuomo's like the soft tissue sarcoma, in that the thing was growing inside of my father, and he went to the hospital for something different, and then they discovered it, right? And when they discovered it, it was about the size of a grapefruit. And what the doctors said to us was that the insidious nature of soft tissue sarcoma is that it's like jello, right? And it'll grow and it'll fill cavities, right? It'll fill empty spaces. And you won't know that you have it until all of the spaces are filled, and then it starts pressing against something and you feel a pain. But by that time, it has ravaged your body, right? Now, Donald Trump is like that hard cancer, right? Like the cancer that I had, which is very obvious, right? And you can and you can catch it early, and then you can eradicate it. See, so Andrew Cuomo, he was like just moving around, right, in these spaces, just doing what he was doing undetected. That to me is a more dangerous cancer. All right?
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm off tomorrow. But we'll be back on Thursday. Woo woo. Hey, listen, Diane, you didn't comment on my hair and my beard.
I saw that your hat is off. I saw that you did the buzz cut. I appreciate your hat being off, but I'm going to tell on you again. I'm just going to need you, I don't know, stick your head out the window, let him come by, stand in the driveway, and give you a buzz cut. I need it to be professional. Or let Amina do it. I don't understand why you named one out.
Alex, you gave yourself the haircut.
I did this. Look at that. Jody, wait a minute. Hold, stop. Joe, wait a minute. Wait. Jody, look at it. I'm
I'm
turned
gonna
to.
be honest. Diane sees you up close and personal. I only see you on the screen, so I recognize that you had a good haircut today. You look good. That was the first thing I noticed.
See,
Right.
see,
And I
see.
like the picture.
Diane's just hating on me.
And stuff too.
Diane is just hating. That's
I
all.
have no hate for you. That's word. I don't use that word. I've always taught my daughter you can't hate it. You can dislike it. Don't hate. No hate.
All right.
I love you, Eric.
I love you too.
You
I
got
love my husband here. Oh God, that'll be a headache. You can't look when he got to start with that sentence. That's when you know there's going to be a lie or something behind it. Fluff. Pay attention to the key words.
Oh, that was funny.
Have a great day.
Have a great rest of the day, guys. Thanks for tuning in.